Welcome back to Native Speaker. Here we're going to look at a 12-step process whereby we build a sentence that looks at problems and how to address them. We're going to start here with some general phrases like broadly speaking, for the most part, by and large, on the whole, and on balance. Then we're going to use some opinion phrases like it's fair to say that, I think it could be argued that, I think it seems fair to suggest that, I would point out that, and I would have to say that. Then some quantifiers like virtually all, it's about 99%, the vast majority of, which is 70 to 85, 90%, a significant percentage of, it's a rather hedging phrase that it could be anything from 30% in your head to 80%. Only a tiny minority of, again, could be something like 5%, 10%, depends on your opinion. And then just our very simple many, often underestimated, but a very valuable phrase. Then whoever we're speaking about will be the subject, students, families, countries, quality control managers, or companies. Then here we might use a phrasal verb like tend to, which means we often do this, then sometimes, and I've used tend to here again because I'm not afraid to use it a couple of times. It's a really nice phrase and it means we often do this. Then problem verbs might be come up against, face, run into, encounter, or experience. Then you might have some adjectives like significant, substantial, and considerable, huge, which means very, very, very big, and major, which just means very big. And then problem nouns like challenges, issues, difficulties, barriers, complications. These are all nice from the family of problem nouns, challenges and issues. This is a very positive word. This is a fairly diplomatic word. Difficulties is used for something that isn't very serious. Okay, now you could say serious difficulties, but that wouldn't be something like death. That would be something like problems with your printer, maybe financial problems sometimes, or something that would block a project. Then barriers are something that block you from moving forward, and complications are something that make it very difficult. Then from the about family we have as regards, with regard to, when it comes to, in terms of, and in relation to. So again, from the about family we have some of these phrases that students often tend to underuse. Then some fixing verbs. So from the fixing verb family we have addressing, handling, solving, getting, and dealing with. You'll notice that after the about family, if you use a verb, it must be the ing version. Okay? And then the topic link would be the subject of, the question of, the issue of, and the problem of. And sometimes we leave certain phrases empty. Here I just wanted to show you that this column doesn't always have to be used, so here it's empty. And then the problem you're speaking about: fast food consumption, education costs, migration, correct test results, and insufficient funding. Let's have a look now at what all of the sentences sound like. Broadly speaking, it's fair to say that virtually all students tend to come up against significant challenges as regards addressing the subject of fast food consumption. Next one, for the most part, I think it could be argued that the vast majority of families sometimes face substantial issues with regard to handling the question of education costs. By and large, I think it seems fair to suggest that a significant percentage of countries run into considerable difficulties when it comes to solving the issue of migration. On the whole, I would point out that only a tiny minority of quality control managers tend to encounter huge barriers in terms of getting correct test results. On balance, I would have to say that many companies tend to experience major complications in relation to dealing with the problem of insufficient funding. And there are some nice sentences now talking about problems and how to deal with them, and you can see some very good examples here of certain word families like problem nouns, the about family, fixing verbs, and don't forget here, after a member of the about family, if you use a verb, it must be ing. Okay? That's all from me. The very best of luck, and we'll see you next time.